Hello, hello, hello. Making a short video here. Never really do this. Um, just wanted to talk about my sobriety and how I'm doing in that. It is approximately 9:51 on 4/28, 2025. Today is a Monday. And let's see here. How far along am I in my sobriety? 3 months, 5 days. 95 days right now, so go me. And today I picked up my um, 3 month chip at a AA meeting in town, and that was good. We actually read the story, I think it's the fifth story, maybe? I'm not sure. But it's called The Vicious Cycle in the Big Book, and it's one of the pioneers of the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, one of the founders, one of the first few. And it's a very good story. There's a lot of parallels in that story with my own. This is water, by the way. Um, but I had to share today, or I didn't have to, but I shared just how it relates to me. And in that story, The Vicious Cycle, um, the man has trouble finding his own conception of God, and he makes it known that they weren't going to put his story in the big book, uh, but out of his struggle to find God, he wouldn't go without them putting in as we understood him, as in God, as we understood him. Because without that, he wouldn't have been able to really grasp um, what a higher power is, and that's still just that is a tall order. Um, Whether you're religious or not, it's a lot. Um, it's a lot for me as an alcoholic, and I guess I'll get into some paradigm things I've had go on lately. I'll call them. So today's Monday. Uh, I want to say last Saturday, so that was the 19th. Today is like day 6 or 7 that I've come off of Lexapro. I was on Lexapro for about, I want to say, the end of January, so February, March, we're in April, so like 2.5 months. I was on Lexapro, a little over 2 months, and I to preface, the last time I was on antidepressants was in 2019. I was 21 years old, I think, at the time, and going through a lot. My father had taken his life in May of 2018, and kind of from there, I was bouncing on and off antidepressants on a large dose of gabapentin. This is my first time through detox treatment and into residential living. I didn't think I really had a problem with addiction. I was very indignant along this. I wasn't even drinking at the time, or I just had a problem chasing dry goods. Um, anyway, on the topic of antidepressants, I was on Prozac for several months. Then I think I switched off of that because it didn't seem to be working. And my new psychiatrist in Baltimore, put me on Zoloft to see if that would change anything. And uh, I maybe noticed an energy boost, like something sort of akin to like I felt a little bit more charismatic. I don't really know what to say about that. Um, uh, can't really say if it made me more anxious or not. but I definitely was feeling just not exactly like natural emotions, or it made my human emotions just feel artificial. I could see them from like a plain view, but like as if I was to like put my hand in like a like a glass of water or something like that. I knew like I was feeling what I was feeling was like water, but I didn't feel how like it is actually water. If that makes any sort of sense. I can give other analogies too, but just like my senses were just kind of like being governed by this drug, and so I was also on Wellbutrin too at the time, which I didn't really see, uh, didn't really add nor detract from anything. And on a sidebar, I guess it was funny, or well, I just wanted to feel something, and I had no medical card for marijuana, but I found this place down near the Inner Harbor, near Federal Hill, I believe is what it's called, that actually sold me half-gram cartridges for about $60 under the table. But at the time, I was like, that's a anything to like let me feel something, which was kind of cool. And it just yeah, because I still felt you know, I guess I could still feel this way too. It's just like it's this wild style of like I'm a party animal. I like to get high. Um, and that's just how I roll. So, and another thing is I started this by I would sit at the bus stops in Baltimore and I would kind of just like look around, like at the ground, and I'd be like, there's got to be, you know, somebody's blunt roaches and stuff. And lo and behold, I mean, you just look around for long enough, and you there is weed sitting at these bus stops in Baltimore. Although I should have been a little bit more careful because of the the drugs nowadays and things being laced and stuff like that. But again, I was sick in the head. I guess I wasn't really thinking, but thankfully I never really picked up anything that was laced. Um, so fast forward to the um, reaction I had on Zoloft, or not fast forward, but to the reaction I had on Zoloft. Um, I went through my day just normal as any other day, and it's winding into kind of like autumn, like not necessarily fall just yet, but it was still really warm outside. And I was sitting in front of my computer, and nothing was going through my head. Just like this, probably maybe like an hour before, no, maybe like 8 o'clock, something like that. So sun was just kind of setting, and nothing going through my head. It felt as if there was like a fishing rod, but inverted, went into the back of my head, and like some sort of, I can't say physically, but it felt like something was fishing around in the back of my head, and then it caught something, like looking for whatever, and once it caught something, I could feel it drag it up into view and in front of my mind's eye, and just for a couple examples, and this only lasted maybe like 90 seconds, like about 2 minutes maybe. But it was very, very vivid. And it started saying things like, "Here, you see this, where your dad just died, and you know that he abandoned you and things like that. That's why you should kill yourself." And then here comes another, and it'd be like a full-on picture of like just like uh, I guess like stop motion frames of my life, and just kind of, but it was just like a very just a tapestry way of uh, doing it. Like so then another one comes along that it finds, and it's like, hey, you remember uh, this failure, all these failures, and like you're just beyond inadequate, and like, no matter how hard you try and effort you put in, you've always been a failure kind of thing, or these times that you failed, it just that's why you should kill yourself. Hey, you remember when you were so selfish and all this other stuff and just hedonistic? That's why you should kill yourself. And so, to a point, I was like just taken aback. I did not know. Uh, First of all, that's never happened to me before, and second of all, I was just like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, I just was. It was incredibly like sudden, and so at least in that effect, I knew that something was going on here that I wasn't doing myself. And I've been depressed before, and like, had depressive moods and things like that, but nothing like this. Nothing this just like in literally in my face. Um, so I at least was able to kind of chuckle, but still caution, like just a cautionary tale to the black box warnings or side effects that this medication produced. Uh, is that I'm like, okay, it was just so obvious that I knew it wasn't me, and I didn't have to question it. Uh, so now fast forward, I stopped taking that so I haven't been on an SSRI for years now. Since that time, and that was back in 2019. So it's, I guess, been close to 6 years since I haven't taken an SSRI. I'm 27 now. I'll be 28 in May. Um, at the end of May here. So I went into detox treatment for alcohol on January 23rd, and I was in the hospital for a night before on the 22nd, and had, just to preface, I had been drinking for about, I want to say, a year and a half, close to 2 years now, or at least during that perpetual binge daily for about a year and a half. And over the span of maybe since 2000 and about 20, so I've been drinking steadily every day with maybe I want to say a year total, not not consecutively without drinking, but a year total of not drinking, not consecutively. So maybe like 3 months here, 3 months there, and then I think like another 9 months somewhere along those lines. So like a year and 2 months maybe, without a year and a month and a half or something like that, where I wasn't drinking, not consecutive, but through a 5 year span of some really heavy drinking, and started just every other day. Or started maybe like 2 times out of the week, then 3 times, and this would snowball within a less than close to a month into just every day, um, and first thing in the morning, and like I just had at least I could drink. I mean, some days I want to say 18 to 20 drinks sometimes, some days, but I this last time around, I was able to limit myself down to a maybe about 6 to 8 drinks by the end. It got pretty intense, and then I cut down um, over the last year and a half. So uh, I was trying to cut down pretty heavy, just cut down as best as I could through November and December of last year, and it is kind of tough with there's the holidays and stuff and that free time. I mean, sure, I'd love to, but I mean, I had to really, you know, put that negative reinforcement into my mind, like, I know it's gonna happen, and DTs are not fun, and I'm getting older, so never had a seizure before, but delirium tremens have happened, hallucinations have happened, and those nightmares are not fun. Neither that nor the dry heaving and the tremors. The tremors are god awful. So all of it, just not fun, not fun. Um, so on to treatment. I'm about a week in, so I went in on January 23rd to inpatient after I was at the hospital. Um, and I guess I'm about, yeah, so I want to say 7 days, 7 to maybe 10 days. Let's say like 8 in, so a week in to treatment, and I see the nurse practitioner there, and she prescribes me. So I tell her that story I just told about in Baltimore, um, with the Zoloft reaction, and I am just, I don't, I'm not like resisting medication. I am in a position to trust um, the healthcare provider, as I wanted to work. I do not want to go back to drinking, and I am committed to working a program of AA, which I am now, and was all last year because I had tried before, but without my full surrender into this thing. But I just wanted to give it a go with the medication, because medication's a big. I can see that it could help, and I've seen that it helps other people and stuff like that. So I wanted to see if it would work for me, if I so put you know my ego aside, and I did. So I trusted this person who prescribed this medication, 10 milligrams of Lexapro, and she also put me on Wellbutrin, and this is in effect because I take Vyvanse, and I she just put me on Wellbutrin out of kind of um, laments about my ADHD, which is debilitating without, you know, my Vyvanse, and especially just uh, working through this alcoholic phase. Not phase, but just alcoholism. So I didn't know how I was going to be in treatment coming off both that and the drink. I'd I've been on Vyvanse for, I want to say, since 2021, since 2021. Uh, and I'm prescribed 230 milligrams, but once a day, or 60 milligrams, but just in 30 milligram capsules. So, but I don't take that much. Uh, most days I usually just take 30, and then I'll divide like half another capsule, but 60 sometimes seems to be just like way too much for me. Um, and that works though. But during my drinking, I would need both of those through the day, and sometimes three. Um, Not a good combination for the faint of heart and or the heart in general. To be fair. So there was that. The Wellbutrin seemed to help with my energy levels, but didn't really address the attention and focusing problem. But nonetheless, I made it through, and just so here we go with the Lexapro. I trust this healthcare provider, and I tell her my story, but she doesn't really seem to bat an eye and or even ask, or even say any sort of cautionary tale about, like, well, I hear you about these suicidal thoughts that happened to you. Like, she didn't even like, it seemed like she didn't acknowledge anything I had said about the suicidal thoughts and things that were a reaction from the Zoloft. And so I just took that as like she was confident in that the Lexapro would be different. And I had been prescribed Lexapro before, but never really gave it an honest shot when I was in college. But and another thing that somebody told me while I was an inpatient was that uh, younger people, or people who are like under the age of like 25 to 27, uh, tend can tend to have reactions to these medications because their brain isn't fully developed. So that gave me a little bit more reassurance that okay, it won't be like before. Um, And so nothing as I started taking it, uh, I started to feel a little, maybe not necessarily lethargic, but I was yawning. I guess typical feelings of when you're starting up any sort of um, SSRI. Um, and I started to get small headaches, and the clinical director there was telling me that when she took it, that she would get small little headaches because that's the medication uh, blocking anxiety signals. And I'm like, okay, that's okay, cool. At least that's relatively common. Um, so there's that. And I just went along with it. And maybe a couple days in, I was journaling and just like really not feeling the medication, not feeling the medication. Um, but then it started to level out, and I didn't really notice much of a change. But I still knew that like, and what I talked to the doctor about is like, I didn't really want to be on it, but I definitely didn't want to go back to drinking. And if it was going to help me not like be so fixed on picking up a drink due to my depression, then I'm all for it. But I just wish I was able to um, have had these feelings acknowledged a little bit more, I suppose, rather than like my trust just being kind of brushed aside as some sort of like, I my therapist today called it self-determination, and that I should have at least had a little bit of encouragement there with my self-determination to work on my mental health and with this medication and coming off of it. Um, so I told this doctor I had a psychiatrist that I wanted to go back and see after I got out. So that was that. Um, I guess I'll try and just because I don't want to get into a mode of where I'm going to like sound like I'm trauma dumping or in a state of resentment because I really am. I shared it with my therapist today and also the um, director of the outpatient place that it's just like it is what it is. People, um, the analogy I was given is that when you're a carpenter, most of the problems you see appear as nails. So, uh, I'm not gonna go as far to say as this is like malpractice, but certainly feels like it could be. But I don't know, and I'd like to not let any resentments breed because of this. But I'm glad that I'm making steady progress, and it doesn't feel like I'll be like this forever, which is good. But I was a little ticked that it's just like, yo, this is getting like impacting my ability to just think about a job. Like, is this how it's gonna be forever? Type feeling. And I'm getting my natural feelings back, and which is good, or just the ability to feel those feelings, which is good. Um, just didn't know it was gonna change me like that. Uh, so a little upset, can say. And but with what's happened is coming off of it on Saturday, last on the 19th. So I was still taking it, but I was tapering down off of it. I was going 2.5 milligram down 2.5 milligrams every week, and I guess by then I was down to like I was down to 2.5 for a couple days, and I woke up. This might have been the last time I took the medication. Was that day. I'm not sure if I took it the next day. Maybe I did. But anyway, woke up around 3 o'clock, 3 a.m. Couldn't get back to sleep, and I was just in this state of mind. My best friend Aiden had taken his life, although it seems to have been an accident. through drinking, and it seems like it was an accident. But I think his depression kind of um, tricked him into thinking that it was okay, and it really wasn't. He drank too much one night in 2021, and for the longest time, I'll just keep this, uh, as surface and transparent as possible. Um, but I just blame myself for his death. When I've I've went through, I know I didn't do anything to cause him to do this. Um, and it really just that night was just pretty incredible. How I was fighting against these thoughts again, like that had happened on the Zoloft about like reasons why I should kill myself with these feelings that were so almost valid. Uh, and in my face to a point where it kind of ticked me off, or it did. Just I'm just like, the hell is this? Why is my arm being like pulled behind my back? What is this arm bar? And it's so rude. Um, and as I said to my therapist today, I'm trying to I'm being st- I'm trying to be stoic and working to be stoic in respects to maybe I just uh came off the medication a little too soon, and or also I should have just not taken it in the first place, but I didn't know, so I was going with the safe option if I didn't want to start drinking again, but I should have gave it a little bit more thought and just been safer to stay on it, instead of just thinking I could, you know, be tough guy or, hero and save myself from, you know, this drone reality. Um, and I just haven't had a chance to know myself without the bottle in my hand. So I feel like I probably would have been okay without the medication at all, because it really didn't change. It didn't really do anything good for me. To where it was just like, oh, I'm able to process these emotions better, because obviously wasn't. Uh, I was able to talk about them, like the experiences and stuff. But that feeling about my guilt about my friend and stuff like that, that was repressed due to the drinking, and then it was put on layover by the antidepressant. So that just it came back in such a weird deliverance. Um, so I can't change the past, but that's what I went through, and it was just odd to go through after being sober for as long as I was, so about 2.5 months, with no alcohol, and then these feelings are just like, whoa, all of a sudden, or just like not all of a sudden, but just kind of like just washed upon me, and I am glad I had gone to church on Easter with my mom on the 20th to my best friend, his father, my best friend who passed away. His father is a pastor over in West Virginia at a Methodist church, and I introduced my mom to his church last year, or sometime last year. We don't go there all the time, or that often really at all. But it's just family is family, and after the tragedy of my friend, it's one of those. It's just it's sad that that has what brought us, a lot closer. But just to say a little bit about my friend, we were like two peas in a pod. I he knew me like the back of his hand. I knew him like the back of my hand. Like we were just like that, in it to win it. Um, Rest in peace. I thought he was gonna be here for a lot longer, and with me for a lot longer. Um, so we went to church, which was good to hear his father's message. That was really good, and also to know that I'm probably not the only one that feels that has felt guilty about you know losing him, or just struggle with some of those feelings. But it was just great to be there, and God has really shown Himself through and through. Just that day felt like a true spiritual awakening, where it's like this is where I'm meant to be, and like I am forgiven, and God, Jesus Christ has risen today, and He died for these sins, and my sins, forevermore. So there's nothing to be afraid of, and all but you know joy to feel, which is hard to believe in the sorrow and just self pity that I've put myself through with the drinking and everything. So it's nice to see the light of day today and be a part of life with other people. That's a huzzah. Uh, so another thing that happened is, and this is kind of comical. So the sober home I am at does not allow kombucha to be drank, and it's kind of like I guess a proximity thing. So like see no evil, hear no evil kind of thing. Not so much like if you drink kombucha, like you're gonna like that. It's just druggy behavior or something like that. But also with the outpatient place I'm going to, they kind of have the same policy. So it's just you know, not that they're gonna look at you like you are getting drunk, but it's just to keep out of sight, out of mind, and I get that, and or to keep from triggering anyone else. But one of the people who works for the sober house is going doing room checks and things like that, and again, just trying to be confidential here, because but asked about my kombucha, and I called him after he left, because I was told, like, he asked about it, and I called him and I said, hey, that was mine. I just want to be really, clear that that was mine. I didn't know the rules, and sorry about that. Just I'm trying to do better, and I have thought about, like, I am self-aware about things that I ingest, and if it does give, if it had given me an effect, I would have felt something, but which I didn't. If anything, and I didn't say this to him, but just he appreciated my honesty, and if anything, I really only got like a little digestive relief, as it is a prebiotic drink. But I think you would have to drink some egregious amount of kombucha to really even like feel anything. Uh, so there's that. And if I really was trying to get drunk, it wouldn't be kombucha. I just, again, with the medication, the Lexapro making me feel like a terrible person for like these things, and like I had relapsed or something, when in effect I just didn't know. So there's some relief there that at least I'm coming to my senses a little bit more and feeling a little bit easier on myself. Uh, just not throwing the hammer down on the shame, and just pushing home that shame. So it's just a work in progress here. Um, and that's good. It's good. But anyway, I just wanted to do a little update on where I'm at. Never really done anything like this before, so don't criticize me too hard for whatever sounding like a Debbie Downer or whatever, because I'm really not. I'm feeling pretty good today. Just wanted to share my experience, and I have hope today, um, and getting my strength up. So yeah, 95 days clean and sober. I don't know if I'll make another one of these videos or whatever, but feels good today. If and God is real. Um, I will say Jesus is real. He's risen. He lives within me. That's for sure. It's just if I am willing enough to accept what He has laid out for me, and that's tough. I've been praying uh, in the morning and at night on my knees, and I almost forgot last night. But if I do, I usually remember before I go to sleep, and I get up and I get on my knees and pray. Um, and that has been a game changer in a good way. It's uh, I can say it's been a challenge, and I prayed for that while I was impatient too. I'm like, Lord, give me challenges, and don't make it easy for me, because that's all I've looked for in the past is the easy way out, and so here I am, and man, I didn't think it was going to be this difficult or challenging, so to speak, but I if I so put my faith in God, my my higher power has given me the strength. So long as I'm willing to believe in that higher power, um, which faith is a mysterious thing. It's a very mysterious thing. And the last thing I forgot to say about the kombucha is my mom was bringing me home, uh, and the day before, this is the day before I found out that you're not allowed to have kombucha here, is I was trying to get one from the store, and lo and behold, it's Easter Sunday, so all the grocery stores are closed, and I couldn't get one. And I called my mom the next day and told her about that, and she's like, "The Lord works in mysterious ways." And I didn't even think about it, and I'm just like, "Yeah, I guess that was him." uh, but yeah, feels good to be clean and sober today and doing the next right thing. On the up and up, I am currently working on step two, um, which is came to believe that a power greater than me can restore me to sanity. Um, and yeah, finished reading We Agnostics, or and still need to finish going over it though with my sponsor. But that's all well and good. Looking forward to hopefully a job interview here soon. Giant Eagle I applied at, and a place also called Ralph's Cookies, uh, which could be cool to work in a bakery. But at Giant Eagle, I applied for a pharmacy tech position. They're only looking at part time, but anything is cool to just get back in the workforce. So, yeah, that's really all I got. Peace, love. See ya.